eligibility results. So who's eligible, what they're eligible for, and when they're eligible. More than likely, it'll be the first of the upcoming month. Premium assistance. This will display the exact monthly tax credit amount. When you are reading this or reviewing this with a client, pretty simple. Hey, Ms. Johnson, looks like your household is eligible for $335 of premium tax credit, so forth. Document checklist. If they need any additional documentation, think of an SVI, a DMI, that will populate on the eligibility notice. And obviously, you should disclose that to your client. It is your responsibility to do so. But hey, Ms. Johnson, it looks like the marketplace needs a little bit more information. You are eligible today, but they do need you to submit proof of income. Something may have um, popped up, flagged in their system. ABC, you tell them what documents are eligible and tell them the timeline behind that. What I like to do, everyone, is I like to say, hey, Miss Johnson, while we're on the phone, we still got a couple more things to do. Can you shoot me over your whatever it is, your 1099, your W-2? Can you shoot me over your tax return from last year? While you've got them on the phone, it's going to be a lot easier because you can satisfy it now rather than following up with them, or it gets pushed behind the cracks and you forget about it, or they forget about it. So biggest thing is go over the documents they need. If you can get it first phone call right then and there, please do. We're so busy. Chasing down DMIs can get a little messy depending on how many you have or the timeline behind them. I should add Health Sherpa if that's where you do your business. Most people do. They have a great system that tells you your DMI status, so when they're expiring and so forth. So utilize that. And then next steps, instructions on how to finalize the plan. So you read the eligibility notice, you go through all that, and then you go on to picking the plan and enrolling the plan. I'm going to go back here. The anatomy should also state, tell them that they're going to get this in email. Tell them they're also going to get this mailed to their home. However, you are doing everything and satisfying everything with them today, so they don't need to necessarily worry about anything additional. I've had clients who end up calling me 2, 3 weeks later and say, hey, David, I got this form in the mail saying I'm eligible for coverage and next steps are choosing my plan. I thought we did this. Yes, we did. You can tell them it's a courtesy letter that was mailed to them. The attestation process. This is what I was discussing earlier. Clients must confirm, first and foremost, income, household size, and tax filing status. Make sure they're accurate. And then on a recorded line or via e-signature, clients must confirm they reviewed and agreed with the eligibility notice. Walk the client through each section slowly. Ensure they understand they're legally signing these statements or legally agreeing to. I have a Q&A in here. At this current time, with the new, very recent changes to CMS rules, are income documents still being required at this time? Yeah, they are. You'll know through the eligibility notice, though, it'll state clearly if they're required to be submitted or not. The big thing is that's generally just populates when um, maybe their tax return or as they process this through other government entities, that statement you read at the beginning of the application doesn't match up with what they put there. But yes, I've still seen those documents are required if the eligibility notice discloses that. Thank you for that question. So when it comes to the attestation process, this is more of a two-step consent process that a lot of people miss or misunderstand. That eligibility notice, that application needs to be approved and signed by the client, whether that's electronic, which you can do through Health Sherpa. It's actually pretty slick. You get the eligibility notice and you can just shoot them an email straight from Health Sherpa, and it stores it in Health Sherpa for you as well. Or you can do it on a recorded line, like mentioned. Managing client expectations, the big envelope. The marketplace will mail a thick packet containing an eligibility notice. Like I mentioned earlier, you can add a little script in there. Hey, Miss Johnson, you'll receive a packet in the mail. It is just a record for your files. We already have, we've already completed everything on your enrollment over this phone call. You do not need to select a new plan. We are completing this part today. Something along that line. That way you just help set expectations and clear up any confusion that may come. Like I said, it's going to be mailed to them and emailed. Generally, it goes into queue right as you submit the application. So just set proper expectations and that shouldn't be an issue. More than likely, you won't run into that at all. Handling document requests. If the eligibility notice indicates documents needed, act immediately. You generally get 90 days for DMIs. Commonly, you'll see proof of income, loss of prior coverage, citizenship, whatever the case, it will tell you what it is and what documents are accepted. Submission methods. This is what I like to do. I like to do agent upload. Couple reasons behind that. One, it's the fastest way. I know I did it. I know it's in there. I know it was submitted properly. If your client will comply and give that to you, go ahead, jump in there, submit it yourself. Client upload. The clients can upload their documents in their individual marketplace account. It adds a few extra steps. They need to sign in, they need to navigate where to do it. If they're very hesitant or they give you pushback on agent upload, that would be potentially the next option that you could do. However, it then leaves a lot of gray area. What I mean by that, it leaves a lot of the action items in their hands, which me as a broker, my biggest responsibility is to bridge